Good afternoon, student. Ninth Standard Social Science, History Unit 11, Colonialism in Asia and Africa. That is the last lesson in history. We will see here reduced syllabus only here. The Industrial Revolution, which introduced machine power replaced by manpower, which resulted in fast and mass production of goods. This arose ever-growing demand of raw material and markets. The European countries in which industrial revolution began started capturing countries which were natural resource rich in African and Asian countries. The process of occupying territory is called colonialism. Let's see in detail colonialism in India, how it affected Indian economy. Learning objectives. The territories forming Southeast Asia, establishment of colonies by the Portuguese, the Spain, the Dutch, the French, and the British and the Americans. Impact of colonization on the Malayan Peninsula, Indonesia, Burma, Indochina, and Philippines. Economic impact of British rule in India. Introduction. Colonialism is a process of domination involving the subjugation of one people by another. Like colonialism, imperialism also involve political and economic control over a dependent territory. The term colony became the term colony comes from the Latin word colonius, meaning farmer. Imperialism, on the other hand, Latin term imperium meaning to command. In the world history, no continent possessed so many colonies and justified their access to the world by means of civilizing missions as did modern Europe. Particularly, the whole non-Western world was under one European power or the other for about 4 centuries until decolonization happened after World War II. In this lesson, we discussed the colonization in India by European powers. Colonization of Asia, Southeast Asia, Malaya, Dutch East India, Burma, Siam, French Indochina, and the Philippines and India also. See the map. Colonization of India. Towards the close of 15th century, Portugal became the first European power to establish trade link with India. Rounding the Cape of Good Hope, Vasco da Gama arrived in Calicut in 1498. Soon, other European powers joined Portugal in establishing their presence of India. Major European powers. Portuguese in 1505 to 1961, Dutch East India Company 1605 to 1825, Danish East India Company 1620 to 1869, French East India Company 1668 to 1954, British East India Company 1612 to 1757, British Company rule in India 1757 to 1857, British Imperial rule 1858 to 1947. The rivalry among the major European powers, Portuguese, Dutch, French, and the English after the Three Carnatic War eliminated the French by the end of the 18th century. The British conquered all the regional power, in particular the most potential challengers, the Mysore Sultan and the Marathas, by defeating them in three Anglo-Mysore War and the three Anglo-Maratha Wars. The conquest of Gurkhas in Sindhis and the Sikhs enabled them to emerge a territorial power in India. The colonization of India economy, that is Indian economy, we can divide the process of the colonization of India into three phases. First phase, mercantilist capitalism. Second, industrial capitalism. Third, financial capitalism. Mercantile capitalism. Colonization of Indian economy, mercantilist pass, outright blunder 18th century. At the beginning of 18th century, the East India Company was still a marginal force in India. It relied on concession from Indian ruler for the trading post along the coast. But soon it managed to establish strong tie with the Indian merchants who sold their textile and other goods. Indian textiles went to England and other part of Europe, to China and Japan and Burma and Arabia and Persia and part of Africa also. It was during this period that the textile lobby in Lancashire and Birmingham succeeded in making the Parliament enact a law prohibiting the import of Indian textile. That is, a law prohibit the import of Indian textile. Those who were found in possession of or dealing in Indian cotton goods were fined nearly 200 pounds. Robert Clive. Robert Clive gained control of the wealthiest part of the old Mughal Empire. The company exhausted concessions such as exemption of company goods from transit duties, which even Indian merchants had to pay. After the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, the company acquired Diwani right in 1765 and became the revenue farmer of Mughal Empire. Industrial capitalism phase, first half of the 19th century. By the beginning of 19th century, the company had emerged as a territorial power. During this period, India was converted into a market for British textile and a great sources of raw material. The company government expansionist policies lead to war against regional ruler. Financial capitalism. Financial capitalism phase, second half of the 19th century. During this phase, the company's government decided to make a massive investment in railroad, the postal system, irrigation, modern banking, and education. The capital export was predominantly for railway construction. The railway helped to move British troops quickly across the country. It also enabled the conquest of the Indian market to the maximum extent. Slavery was abolished in India 1843 and the system of injured labor was introduced, that is bonded labor. Economic impact of British rule in India. First, agrarian condition. The Governor General Cornwallis, himself a big landlord in England, wanted to create landlords in India on the English model, what they were to follow in Britain. There were already revenue farmers under the Mughals. Cornwallis came to settlement with them, treating them as landlords. The cultivator, on the other hand, and were reduced to the position of mere tenant. The British deal with the landlords or Jamindar directly. Permanent settlement system 1793. The British dealt with the landlord or Jamindar directly and they given them total freedom to do with what they liked with their tenant. This settlement made with the Zamindar of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa is called a permanent settlement. This settlement, the British government earned the money throughout the year. Rayatwari system. The Rayatwari system was a different revenue system introduced in South India. Under the system, the peasant was the proprietor and paid tax on the land. The government dealt with him directly without their intervention of middleman or tax farmer. He was entitled to remain in possession of land acquired by him so long as he paid the land revenue. In case of difficult, the farmer's evocation and attachment of livestock, even household property or personal belonging could be attached. Land revenue under the papyrusation of peasantry. The land tax, which was the main sources of revenue to the British, was collected forcibly. Even in time of famine, no remission was given to peasant. That is, no relaxation given to peasant. They had to even mortgage or sell their property, including their land, to pay the landlord's rent and land tax. The colonization state pursued a policy of commercialization of agriculture. Commercial crops like cotton, jute, groundnut, soy, oilseed, sugarcane, tobacco, etc. Instead of producing for home consumption, the peasant began to raise a crop for the market. Irrigation. The British totally neglected irrigation in the first half of the 19th century. Major irrigation canals were built only after millions of people died in series of major famines that broke out periodically from the middle of 19th century. Even the money earmarked the irrigation was mere, but due to the initiative of some well-meaning British officials and engineers like Arthur Cotton and later Benninck, guaranteed protect irrigation became possible on certain area. Even where such a effort were taken, the British collected Even where such a effort were taken, the British collected an extra cess add to the misery of the peasant who are already groaning under the oppressive land revenue system. Colonial Benninck. Colonel Benninck was an army engineer and a civil servant who also served as a member of Madras Legislative Council. He decided to divert the west flowing river, that is Periyar River, draining into the Arabian Sea to the east so that it could irrigate the lack of area of dry land dependent on the Vaigai River. Benninck went to England and sold his family property to mobilize money to fund the project, which was completed in 1895. The Mullai Periyar Dam continued to irrigate agricultural land in Theni, Dindikkal, Madurai, Sivagangai and Ramanathapuram district. Misery of the peasant. Even where such effort were taken, the British collect an extra tax, adding to the misery of the peasant who are already going under the oppressive land revenue system by the company, British East India Company. Famines. The policy of free trade and forcible collection of land revenue resulted in the outbreak of famine. The famine of 1876-78, also known as Great Famine of 1876 to 78, called Thadu Vashathu Panjam in Tamil, caused a large migration of agricultural laborers and artisans from southern India to British colonies, where they work as indoor laborers and plantation. The death toll, about nearly 10.3 million, was huge. In Madras Presidency, the famine of 1876-78 was preceded by drought. These famines were typically followed by various infection diseases such as plague and influenza, which attacked and killed population already weakened by starvation. The memory of this famine still preserved in various folk songs and ballads. Indu labors. The Indu labor system was a form of debt bondage by which 3.5 million Indians were transported to various British colonies to provide labor of the plantation, that is mainly sugarcane plantation areas. It started from 1843, the year of abolition of slavery in India, and continued till 1920s. Students, so far we discussed about Indian colonization and economic impact of the British rule in India. You start a recap. Colonization in Asia and Africa. How the Indian economy was colonized in the aftermath of the establishment of British rule through three different successive phases is explained. The onslaught of British colonization on agrarian condition of India resulting to improvement of peasantry and outbreak of famine forcing them to emigrate to colonies of British Empire Indu labors. Thank you, students. Please follow the assignment given in the PDF.